Now, Rita, the Greens are demanding that they have, or that Tanya Plibersek have new powers to block fossil fuel projects if she gets her way and has this new environmental department. Tell us about this.
Well, I would not be surprised. I don't think actually the Labor government needs much encouragement. They have been thwarting development. They have been just anti-fossil fuels. They are obsessed with their emission targets, though they are questioning whether they can meet some of those targets. But this is another reason why we're in the economic woes that we're in, is that this is a government filled with people who do not understand what it takes to run a successful business. They don't understand the economy. They come from political backgrounds. They've either been in the union movement or been staffers. They've been bureaucrats. How many people within the federal government, James, you're in Canberra every week, have any sort of business understanding or experience?
Yeah, well, it's shockingly few, and it's shockingly few, particularly on the Labor side, where the career to sit on those front benches or the back benches is, literally you start in student politics and then you get a job as a staffer for an MP or a minister, or you go work for one of the unions, and then if you're, good and you play the politics and you work the machine right, then maybe you get pre-selected, then maybe you get a seat, and then that's how it works. And literally these people spend their entire life doing this. I think Albanese had a tiny little time working as a bank teller or something when he was at university. That's it. Tanya Plibersek, her whole life in this system, that entire system of Labor is keeping people isolated from divorce from reality.
This whole situation is a great metaphor for this government. This government takes gold but leaves it in the ground, so won't maximise the wealth of our natural resources. But at the same time, they want to start a solar panel building industry, which we can never do as cheaply as China. So everything that is inefficient, this government is committed to, and everything that's obvious, we've got wealth right under the dirt, they want to leave it there.
And I'll tell you, Chris Minns, the Premier of New South Wales, he's Labor, but he is one of the most sensible voices in this country because he has said that getting all of these other minerals out of the ground is the way that New South Wales and Australia will wind up continuing to maintain its prosperity. Because, Rita, I think there's this attitude on the left particularly, where they haven't worked in industry, that thinks that just prosperity is assured, that Australia will always be a prosperous nation. We'll always be rich. We've been rich before. We'll always be that way.
It is, and I think that extends, sadly, to much of the public, where they don't really have a concern for the national debt. They don't really look at the GDP figures. Obviously, they know inflation's biting. It's hurting them week in and week out when they're buying their groceries and doing their budgeting. But there needs to be an appreciation that when we are in debt, as, say, the state of Victoria is, biggest debt in the country, state debt in the country, everybody pays eventually. If you want to own property, if you pay land tax, it becomes so oppressive. If you employ people and you pay payroll tax, it becomes even more oppressive. So I think that understanding is going to become apparent as these policies actually hurt everyday people.
Yeah.